What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Magnum West here, and I'm finally back from my trip, and I'm just excited about these. So this is why this is kind of the first in line for my reviews coming back. But we are going to be taking a close look at the Marvel Legends Gamerverse, aka Marvel vs. Capcom 2-1. They're kind of interchangeable designs sometimes. Captain America and Venom 2-pack. Now, these are I directly like I could probably put up pictures of the sprites and everything. I'm pretty sure that these are more inspired. Honestly, I tried pinning it down, but really they're kind of weird, right? Some of them are a little bit more based on the sprite, such as Wolverine. But then there's others that are more based on the art, which if you look at the in-game sprite for Cap, like this guy's huge, but that Cap is like humongous. Like he's freaking huge. Like he's jacked as hell. Same thing with the Venom, right? But honestly, the way it worked out in figure format, you're not going to be able to get it 100% accurate to the sprite. But this is pretty close, and I'm happy with this. But without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Okay, so for starters, let's go ahead and take a look at Venom. And honestly, I feel like this guy has been getting kind of crapped on for no reason. I mean, I've heard some pretty good excuses as to why people don't love this Venom. Like, on my copy, let me go ahead and zoom in. Hopefully, it picks up well on camera. But the Venom symbol is a little opaque. It's not as dense as some people would like, but honestly, from like a photography standpoint and just a general like naked eye standpoint, there's really no paint defects on mine. Like it's pretty solid all around. Like I also put it out there that I'm not one of those people that cares too much about like minuscule like paint imperfections and stuff like that. I know some people do, right? Even at the price point, I don't really care because overall, I love both of these figures a lot. Personally, myself, I prefer the Venom over the Cap just because I'm a bigger Venom fan, but that Captain America is definitely definitive. But anyway, so this Venom, obviously, he's based off the Marvel vs. Capcom as I explained at the start of the video, depending which one you might think it's closer to, either the first game or the second one, but it's pretty close to both. Um, but yeah, so he's rocking that like nice vibrant blue. And on camera, it's a little bit closer to something like a baby blue slash like really, really light turquoise. But in person, it's a little bit more of a true blue to the naked eye, if that makes any sense. But just real quick before we jump into everything that is the figure, he does come with a couple accessories. Unfortunately, he doesn't come with an effect like Cap does. But he does come with these two fist hands, like right off the gate, straight out the box. He comes with these, and then he comes with this really cool Eddie Brock head. And let me go ahead and zoom in for you. Yeah, which is really nice. Like mine is pretty well painted. It's not like the neatest thing or the nicest looking head ever, but it really is really nice. I mean, at least to the naked eye, I don't detect anything wrong with it. It fits really properly. There's nothing wrong with mine, thankfully. And then obviously, people were saying that this is like a reuse head, and I've done a little bit of research myself. And I mean, you if you have the figure, go ahead and drop a comment if it is close to anything else. But the main defining factor that I picked up on that makes it unique is the underbite, which, like I said, the body is kind of based more on the sprite, whereas I feel like the face is based more on the artwork, which is kind of weird, right? But just to cover it real quick, now since we got the accessories out of the way, what's new on this guy is I believe the arms are brand new and they're pinless, and then the legs are reused from the like I want to say it's the VHS Spider-Man or Venom that comes with like the blue and red highlighting and stuff, and then they used it also on the 3-pack Venom, and then also on the I want to say 85th anniversary of Marvel Venom that came with the McFarlane style head. And you know what, like all in all, as at like I said, you can kind of pinpoint things that are wrong with this. I'm sure you can pick it apart and destroy the figure in a kind of not literal sense. But I love this guy. Like, I love the size, the way. I had this figure before, but I just thought that all black Venom, I think he's kind of boring in my opinion, just because, like, especially on a shelf, you're not even really gonna notice it, especially if you have a decent amount of black figures already, like all black figures. Then it's really not gonna stand out, right? And I mean, this guy can pretty much get into any pose that you wanted to. The articulations are kind of weird, and thankfully they did put him on that hinge joint, so you are gonna get those deep Venom style, poses. But like I said, I saw a lot of people really crapping on this guy for what I think is really no reason. I think overall as a figure, and if you look at it as a Marvel Legends figure, it's pretty good, right? We'll talk about the price point more towards the end, just because I want to focus on the figures first. But as it is, I really am enjoying this 2-pack. It's really dope. But let's go ahead and move on to the Captain America. Okay, now for the Captain America, pretty much what you see is what you get. He does come with this effect over here. It's like I want to say shooting star, like little special attack, which is really dope. Like, I don't mean it in the sense like, oh, it sucks. But I do wish he would have came with more accessories. And just like Venom, he too comes with a uh, yelling head, or a different head sculpt. Venom's isn't yelling, but yeah, let me go ahead and there you go. He is screaming. Sorry if it's not focusing that well, but yeah, so it's a really solid head sculpt. And then I left him in the package because I don't think I'm ever going to use them. He comes with 2 thumbs up hands, like one and like a different expression on the other hand. I feel like would have sat a lot better with me, just because I don't see myself ever using 2 thumbs up hands. I think that was like kind of a stupid idea, especially because they included those hands to match the outro, but he doesn't even have the expression. Like, this doesn't match the expression in that outro screen. Like, just kind of like a little bit nitpicky, but I did think that was kind of stupid. Like, I would have preferred, 2 like shield throwing hands where his hands are like kind of splayed out, or like, maybe even another head sculpt in place of that. But I'm fine as long as they included the shield, right? And this is just a normal shield. It's not broken or anything. Like, doesn't have any damage on it or nothing. It's just a classic shield. From the other videos that I've seen, it is smaller than the other caps. But honestly, this is gonna be like the figure that everybody's after, right? From the 2-pack at least. It's essentially the Psylocke of this 2-pack. He's on a brand new body. I believe it's 100% brand new. There might be reuse somewhere else, but from what I can tell, it's a completely brand new body, at least where it matters, right? And I mean, it looks amazing. Like, I hope it's picking up well on camera, but it's definitely not as shiny. Right now I have it kind of under harsh lighting, so maybe that's why it looks a little bit more plasticky. But to the naked eye, he kind of has a little bit of a matte paint job. Um, Mine did come with this, like, let me go ahead and zoom into that. Hopefully it can pick it up. But mine did come with this, which it looks like maybe when they went to go apply the last coat, they didn't seal it properly right here, and it like kind of stuck there, because they don't touch. The thighs don't touch, and they don't really touch anywhere else on the body. So they definitely had to have that, which is not like I said, I don't really care too much about stuff like that. It doesn't really affect the way I think about a figure, the way I enjoy it. But it definitely is something to point out. But similar to Venom, this guy can pose pretty good, right? I definitely wish he would have had a deeper crunch, which usually when figures have this like more classic ab crunch style, they usually get better range, which is kind of surprising that this guy doesn't. But yeah, let's just put this guy in a quick little pose so I can show off, that he can definitely get down. There you go. You kind of have him in a, ready stance where he has the shield on him. And then, like I said, this would have been a really cool time to have like those like kind of action displayed hands, where he's like getting ready and stuff. Let me go ahead and zoom into that so you can get a closer look. But yeah, I mean, this guy is definitely, I would say that personally, I'll talk about it more here in a second, but this cap alone, I feel like you can easily get rid of that Venom. If like you already have more than enough Venoms, this guy is worth getting the 2-pack and then reselling that Venom just for this guy. I mean, I love this figure. Like, if you've been paying attention to my Instagram, I did 2 posts of this guy already. I think that the muscle proportions on the entire body are just absolutely amazing. Like, I'll just give this guy, let me put him back in a neutral stance, but just as is, I think he looks amazing. Like, just as a figure, man. Like, he has the muscles everywhere right here on the chest. He's got the popping back muscles, you know, a little bit of glutes there. The quads are really well sculpted. Like, it's a really nice heroic looking action figure. Like, it looks really solid with pretty much any pose that you put him in, right? And then, just for you guys that might be wondering, like I said, there's a lot of reviews, so this one was kind of more to just talk about the figures and show off some poses with them. But if you really want to get like a close idea of everything that this guy comes with, I would suggest watching like The Amazing's reviews. Really solid. I know Anthony's Customs did one. Who else? I'm over here. Unparalleled Universe. Just to name a couple, but there's a lot of reviews out there. So essentially, it just plugs in, like it kind of grabs over the shield, like kind of like a claw, but you can like use this. Like I said, it's supposed to be like a charging star. So really, any way you use it, it's gonna look really good as long as he has like a forward momentum type of pose, right? Like, you can just have him doing this, and it looks really clean. And then I've also used it in my photography on my Instagram, which you can go check out as well, where it looks like he's blocking an attack. Like, it's just a really cool effect, right? Especially for Cap. I feel like the last time that they included something this cool with a Captain America figure was the 25th anniversary of Marvel Legends. Little single pack, like the retro carded kind of, where he came with like the lightning and the bullets and stuff, which it's just an amazing figure, man. Like, I really like this Captain America. I'm not even a huge Captain America fan, but he is definitely dope. But let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. All right, and here we have a couple Marvel Legends. We have the Squadron Supreme 2 pack. What the hell's his name? Hyperion, which I don't know what body this is, to be honest. I think it might be the Omega Red. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I also think this body would have worked pretty well too. I am glad that they went ahead and did that one, because he has a much broader kind of V taper, like that smaller waist. It looks a lot better on this body, so I like this one better. But it would have definitely worked on this guy as well. If you like that kind of smaller slash brute type of Venom. But yeah. And then here on the left, we have that what is it? Secret Wars. There you go. Secret Wars Captain America, which is just a recolor of the 25th anniversary Captain America, which is great, but the butterfly joints, and then also the well, what else did they improve? Pretty much the butterfly joints. The butterfly joints add a lot of like dynamics to poses and make them look a lot better. This guy looks a lot better paint job wise, because I put a matte coat on him, which I'm gonna do to all of these guys. But I'm planning on adding a little bit of shading, so that'll be after that. But yeah, so you guys can kind of see that size comparison. And then here with the large, oversized Venom type, here's Venom next to that guy. And then here's Cap next to Yamaguchi Spider-Man. Which, like I said, pretty much all of these guys are going to fit in with whatever your Marvel Legends usually fit in with. So I'm not going to stretch this out too much. Like I said, there's a lot of reviews out there. And I mean, if you guys want me to do another part, I'll do another part. Just size comparisons, head swaps and stuff. But let me know. But that's pretty much it for size comparisons. Okay, quick little tidbit in case you guys are wondering. The Secret Wars and pretty much any other Captain America that, is semi-new with newer joints and stuff, their stuff is going to fit with this Gamerverse 2 pack Cap, just because they have pretty much the same joints and stuff. The shield fits just fine. The heads fit just fine. So just a little quick PSA. All right, but that pretty much wraps up the review. If you made it this far, a like would be greatly appreciated, as it helps get the channel out there. Also consider subscribing. But kind of in conclusion, what do I think about this 2 pack? I think it's pretty worth it, especially when we have things like the Maximum series on there. Like, in my opinion, a lot of these 2 packs, pretty much all of them, include like one Maximum level figure, if you want to call it that, with an additional figure, right? So when you look at it that way, you're essentially getting a $50 figure and then a $25 figure because, again, in my opinion, I have to say that because, you know, the internet, I think both of these versions could work as definitive versions for either or. In this specific scenario, this Venom is amazing. The size is great. The paint apps are okay. The overall inclusion of the figure is really nice, and I really love that Venom. Honestly, I was pretty surprised by it. And then this Captain America is definitely definitive as it's the best Captain America Marvel Legend that we have. And honestly, I'm not a big fan of the Mayfeg, so until they take out a Captain America in this style that is like better, like if SH Figure Arts makes it, it's probably going to be better. So maybe I'll get that, but honestly, like I said, I'm not the biggest Captain America fan, so I'm completely good with this. I'm probably going to sell any other Captain America figure I might have in my collection, and I'll keep this one for a couple years because it's that great. It's really good. And then this Venom, I love Venom, so I feel like if I'm probably not. This probably won't be my last Venom just because I love Venom. But it's a really good choice. And like I said, as a 2-pack, do I wish they would have included a little bit more? Yeah, I definitely I would say that. But as is, for me personally, I paid $65 for this guy because of the $5 tax, but it's $60 retail. Um, I think it's pretty worth it. Like I said, when you compare it to stuff like Maximum, I know that Deadpool just came out, and it's like, bro, get out of my face with that stuff. Like I will never buy a Maximum series figure just because I can spend $10 more and get two amazing figures like this, right? So if you're on the fence, I would say do it. It's an amazing 2-pack. I love both figures. Um, and then the Venom's also a really, really good surprise. Like I said, a lot of people were kind of hating on it, which I don't care. You know, if you don't like it, you don't like it, and that's completely fair. But I personally really love this Venom. It's a lot of fun to pose around. It's a solid figure. Same thing with the Captain America. I mean, I'm pretty surprised from this. This is coming from Marvel Legends, right? Because usually they're pretty trash. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys thought about the video. You guys agree with any of my points? Disagree? What's your guys' favorite, Gamerverse 2-pack so far? I would say that this one is probably my favorite just because my favorite Gamerverse figure is Psylocke, but the Psylocke 2-pack with Thanos is like, I don't give a rat's ass about Thanos, so I didn't like that about that 2-pack. But again, let me know what you guys think. I really appreciate you guys watching the video. I expect more videos this week. I'm back from my trip, so it won't be any more delays or anything like that. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a great day. Peace.